Hello everyone, my name is Axemun and today I'm going to be talking about Creative's T30 wireless speakers. I actually said that and it looked alright, I think. Now the last review I did of some wireless speakers, I think it was the Archie, and I'm looking at it right by there. They were good because, you know, they're wireless Bluetooth speakers, they can be used wireless, you could take them in the garden, but we all kind of knew what they were. What makes these special though is that they're PC speakers. Yes, quite. You can actually use these as a sound system for your PC, which I currently do, and I have been doing so for the past week. So, you know, I think I've got a good, honest idea of what they're going to turn out like for everyone else. Now, before I actually get in depth with this review, I just want to let everyone know I'm using a new camera, which some of you can probably tell by now. I'm also using a lavalier microphone. This is only a test though. I want to know what you people think of the lavalier. I think the sound quality is very different, not as good as my usual crane and thing of ball of fluff that was by the side of my face. But, you know, this actually makes things a lot easier for me because I've got nothing on the table getting in my bloody way, and this little speaker right here just stays right over there. I'm dribbling. It's kind of a trade-off. Let me know what you think. Should I keep the lavalier or shall I just stop using it altogether? Anyway, enough of that. Let's actually get onto these little bastards and see how they turned out, shall we? Setting them up was quite easy. You do have the choice to use an auxiliary cable if you want to, which is provided in the box, which is quite nice, but I chose to use the gimmick way, which is using them with the Bluetooth. That process is rather easy. I've used the BTW2, which they sent me last time, plugged it in. I basically just got these things to pair up literally within seconds whilst pressing the pair button on them. So that was quite nice. You'd think as well, turning your PC off and then back on again, you'd think they'd be a pain in the arse trying to reconnect back to each other. Nothing there. Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't really bump into any problems. I turned my PC on, pressed the power button, literally within seconds they've connected to each other, way before I even get to the operating system on my PC. So thumbs up to that. They reconnect to the PC ridiculously fast. How do they sound, Adam? Axemun, which name should I use for this video? They actually sound quite nice. I will be honest, they don't really sound as good as my current system, which I'm using, but then again, it's like 100 watts, so nothing's really going to get compared to that, is it? But for what they are, they actually sound really nice. You have to plug them in by the mains, I will point that out now, so they're not truly wireless. I'll get onto that momentarily. But they actually produce quite nice sound. They've kind of got their own little sub kind of built into them right here, like a little teat. So they can handle some kind of bass. They've even got bass and treble control on them as well as the volume control. I can't really complain about the sound that come from them. They were quite loud. They managed to handle quite loud volumes until they started getting a bit distorted. So I'll give them that. Nothing fancy though, nothing extremely fantastic as you'd expect. They're not really the biggest of speakers. They actually are quite big. My cat is outside the door. I'm going to leave her out there. So for what they are, they're pretty good. They're not fantastic sound-wise, but they're pretty damn good. They're more than respectable anyway. As for their appearance, they're quite sexy. They're quite pretty, quite fantastic. They've got a weird shape, I will be honest. At the back of them then, you've got the, nothing really much, it just says right speaker, left speaker. Not really that much for connectivity on them as well. They have got NFC, so if you have a phone that has NFC, you'd literally just tap it on top, and then they've instantly paired to each other. I wouldn't say instantly, but pretty damn close to instantaneous. Yes, oh my god, that was disgusting, but why'd you do that? Point out as well, on the front you have your volume, your treble, need more treble in my life, bitch, power, Bluetooth, and a little connection there if you'd like to plug in some earphones. That's quite pretty. I quite like that. Now, using these with Bluetooth, there's going to be some delay. Now, I will be honest, there wasn't that much of a delay. There was about a split second, maybe half a second of delay. Normally, this isn't necessarily a problem for me. Listening to music or watching a video, you can barely notice any difference. You won't notice any difference. Well, I haven't noticed a difference in the week anyway. Maybe if you was playing something like Counter-Strike or something like that, you might, but honestly, you probably won't. Anyway, let's be honest as well. If you're going to play something like Counter-Strike or something, you're wearing a headset because I don't know why people complain about hearing footsteps and shit, I don't know anymore. So what problems did I run into with these things? Not that much, to be honest with you. They're pretty big for their size, kind of. They did take up a little bit more space than my current speakers, so I did have to move things around to make these fit in quite properly. They don't even fit in properly, to be honest with you. I kind of had to really move my monitor around a bit, which has been in the arse, so yes, penis. But one real big problem that I had with these things, when I was initially setting these things up, I didn't just dive into it and then set them up straight away. I thought I'd have a look around on the internet first, or have a look on the Creative website first to see just how exactly they do connect up with the Bluetooth. One problem I really found on the website, which really, really annoyed me. Whenever they advertised these speakers, they said true wireless or something like that. They were really kicking on to the fact that these things are truly wireless devices. Unfortunately, that's a lie. They're not truly wireless. The left and right speakers have to be plugged in with each other at all times, because how is this going to get any sound otherwise? So, yes, they kind of look like that then. They're not truly wireless. That's a bloody lie, isn't it? Also as well, you have to have the mains plugged into them as well. So there we go. That's 2 wires you have to have connected to each other, connected to them even, to actually make them function correctly. So truly wireless, I bloody well think not. Although that is a gripe I had, it doesn't necessarily mean that these speakers are bad. They're not bad speakers. They're actually pretty damn good for what they are. Wireless speakers. But I don't know, that really, that kind of advertisement, that really pisses me off. If I was really looking for these speakers and I saw them the way they advertised them, and then when they came, and then I saw how they actually work, I would have been pretty pissed off, and I'm not lying with you there. I am not lying at all, now am I? Anyway, these speakers, they're pretty nice. I think they're about £99, £100. I can't remember. Are they worth £99? I don't know. They sound nice. They don't sound £100 nice. I think the only true thing that these things have going for them is that they can be used wireless. Of course, though, they aren't truly wireless because this has got to be plugged in. But I suppose if you were someone and you wanted the speakers to be behind you or something because you like that, people are like that for whatever bloody reason, you can kind of do that with them. They don't have to be connected to your PC. Anyway, now I'm truly rambling on here. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I've not really gone fully in depth because, you know, they're just speakers. You all know what speakers sound like. They make noise. They make quite a lot of noise. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the new camera because, yes, I'm still getting to grips with setting it up. I actually had to film this twice because the autofocus was spazzing out. That was rather annoying. Oh, Jesus Christ! Anyway, let me know what you think of this speaker as well. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I hate it. I suppose you guys have to be the judge of that. Let me know what this sound sounds like. Definitely makes my life easier using a lavalier. Anyway, thanks for watching. Get these out of the frame. I'm gonna go take a dump. Bitch. I use this when I'm not sitting here to get the focus right. Ah, fuck, that hurt like a bitch.